Hello everyone, this is Tammy Wilgenbush with Card Designs by Tammy, and today I'm really excited. We're going to get ready for Father's Day, and I'm going to showcase one bundle and one suite that you can use to make awesome masculine cards. And I'll be honest, I kind of used these two together for a lot of the cards, and so one of them, the Home and Garden set, is in the mini catalog, which will be good through June, and it is on page 72, and it is the Home and Garden bundle. You can get just the stamp set, or you can get the stamp set and dies, and I would highly recommend the stamp set and dies. They're just awesome. It's $45, and it is wonderful. I absolutely adore the theme. And so you can see that the stamp set has several images, and all of these images you can cut out with the dies. And then it has some really nice sentiments. Thanks for helping me grow, birthday wishes, Dad, happy Father's Day, and to the man who can do anything. And then, like I said, it comes with accompanying dies, and most of these dies, so we have these framelits here, will cut out all of these images. And so this is kind of what most of them, I guess I've never cut out the gloves, but these all I'm going to use on my card. And so you can either stamp them and die cut them out, which I did there. This one here makes a kind of just a kind of almost like a 2x4 piece of wood. And then let's see, I have the little one. You can also cut the images out without stamping, which is what I did for these two, and I'm going to use these for my cards. And you may notice that we have a different color here on the end. And so not only do they have the frames, but they have these three little dies here that you can use to cut out the blades for your different tools. So just again, another fun element. And so I cut them out, you can see here, in silver. And I've already put two of them on that we're going to use today, and then this one I will use to put on that one. But again, it just gives it a lot of layering, and it is really fun. Now another die that this has is this piece here, and it cuts out these three really little hooks, and basically you can just glue them onto this piece of wood, and I'll show you kind of how you can just make a whole little scene, like a bunch of tools hanging in the garage. And so it's really cool, and I cut them out in silver, and then I've also, most of the other projects I cut them out in black. There also are two little tufts of grass here. I haven't cut these out yet to use them, but if you wanted to add some little tufts of grass to your image, or this one here, will cut out little, if I can get it off, we'll cut out little pebbles. So again, just a really fun die set that gives you a bunch of cut tools. So that is the Home and Garden set. The other set is the He's All, or I think it's He's All That Sweet. Well, it's the He's All That bundle. Let me see what the suite is. This is in the new annual catalog that was just released the beginning of May. And so it's He's the Man is the suite. And so this suite is available for $68 on page 78-79, and it comes with The suite comes with the stamp set, the die set, a sheet of Specialty Designer Series paper, and these really fun rustic metallic adhesive back dots. So just rustic metallic dots for embellishments. So again, another really nice set. Now, the reason that I like the two sets together is because this set is mostly sentiments. It has a few other little things, but I thought that it worked well because the Home and Garden does have some nice sentiments, but it also you can use it to kind of mix and match, and you can use sentiments and, you know, add in some different pieces from the Home and Garden. So, you know, if you get these two sets together, you will have everything you need to make any type of masculine card that you could want. And I don't know about anybody else, but those are always the cards that are hardest for me. So this set, again, he's all that cling stamp set, as well as die cuts. And most of these die cuts are like for sentiments. And again, a lot of them coordinate. So we have this one coordinates with to the man who does everything. We have just some like banners. Here we have straight banners, so this cuts out two banners, and these cut out some banners. This here will cut out love this guy sentiment, and then the circle here cuts out these two. This one will cut out the happy birthday to a classic, but this one also will cut that one out. And then, of course, we have the oval, which will cut out the holy smokes. And so the nice thing about this die set is that it's just a bunch of sentiments. So yeah, it coordinates with this, but if you are ever in the need for different you know, want to cut out little different tags or pieces for sentiments, this is an awesome set for that. And then it also has these two here. And so I did cut those out just because those are a little bit unusual. You look at that and it's like, wow, how is that going to look? And so what that cuts out is in this really cool design right here. So again, it's just an additional die cut element that you can add to the card. And I'll show you kind of some examples, an example of where I used that. So the other thing that goes with the He's the Man is the Designer Series paper, which is also nice because that's one thing that you can coordinate with all of these, is because you can use the paper and some of the sentiments and the die cuts for both sets with this paper. And so this paper is specialty paper. And so it comes with 6 pieces. Well, okay, it's 12 total pieces. It comes with 2 each of 5 designs, all right? And then it has 2 of these kind of die cut sheets, all right? And so you can just see that it's already starting to come up. So this sheet is just all sorts of die cuts that you can use on the cards. And so again, it just adds a lot of variety with the stamp sets and the dies to create just all sorts of masculine cards. So it comes with 2 of these, and then it'll come with 2 each of these double-sided papers. So this really fun tie and glasses and shoes and mustache, and then the back is just a really nice neutral dark color. And then we have this one. This is just such a fun one. If you have a man in your life who loves grilling, this has some really just fun things to celebrate that. So this is probably one of my favorite papers. And I love the Cajun craze on the back, but I love the grilling. And my husband grills and does a lot with the smoker. And so that is probably going to be his Father's Day card. And so if you have somebody who likes classic cards, and then again, just the nice basic background. And then again, this one. Oh, so it's kind of got the camping adventure on the one side and then the nice neutral on the other. So again, just nice neutral. This one is just kind of neutral on both sides. Nice neutral masculine papers that will go with these cards. So those are the two stamp sets, and I'll show you some of the cards that I've made so far, and then we'll make one of them, and I'll kind of show you how some of the pieces with the garage thing go together. So this is kind of one of them, and this is actually just made all with the Home and Garden set. And you can see how it has kind of that, you know, tools hanging on a garage shed. And you can see the elements of the tips looking like they're actual metal. And then just the inside there. So, and again, here I used little black hooks. And again, you can't really see the hooks, but yet it still gives it that really fun element. This is just another one. Now, this one this one I used designer series paper. This one I used the brick and mortar embossing folder. And what I did to get this color is I used white, and then I used crumb cake and just kind of put some my crumb cake ink pad, or actually, sorry, I think it wasn't crumb cake, it was soft suede. This uses soft suede. I just kind of used the ink pad and rubbed it over the embossing folder and then ran it through the embossing folder, and it got that coloring to it. So I thought that was really cool. But the brick and mortar embossing folder is a perfect one for this set if you don't have, you know, designer series paper for background. And again, here you can see I didn't stamp these ones, but cut them out in a different color to kind of add a pop of color to it. So here are some that I made with both sets. So this uses some of that designer series paper, but and then the one die cut and stamp, but then these from the Home and Garden. So again, it's a nice stamp set to kind of combine a bunch of different ones as well. This one is one of my favorites. So it uses some of those die cut elements that are from that sheet of paper, as well as just the background. So this one actually uses only the He's the Man suite. As of now, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do a birthday or if I'm going to do a Father's Day card. So I plan to add another sentiment up there, just not sure exactly what I'm going to use this for right now. So I just kind of kept it neutral. Let's see, and here's another birthday card. Again, this, you can see those fun elements there, the die cut, and then I just put some designer series paper in the middle there. And then finally, the last example I have is, again, using some of that designer series paper with the elements from the Home and Garden. And then one of the sentiments from the He's All That suite. So again, you can kind of see here that it's really easy to mix and match elements from these two bundles and stamp sets, and it'll give you endless examples of masculine cards. And so what we're going to do today is I'm going to use some elements from both, but kind of show you how to put together that little background that looks like the hanging tools. So what I have today is I have a piece of early espresso paper, and it is the standard, yes, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.5. And then I have a piece of that designer series paper, and I'm using this piece, but for this card I wanted to use that side with the kind of the Cajun craze. And this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So it's just going to give a real narrow margin to the card base. So 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then this piece is a piece of crumb cake, and I ran it through using that brick and mortar embossing folder, and this is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. So a little bit smaller so that you can see, big enough that I can put all the elements on it, but lets you see some additional of that designer series paper. So those are the sizes. And then I also have a piece of basic white that is 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside. So let's see here. So I have all of my pieces. I ran them through the Stampin' Up! Or the embossing machine. And so I have a ladder, and so I stamped that and cut it out. I stamped the rake and cut it out. I stamped the shovel and cut it out. And then I've already done these. The little, I don't know, hoe, I'm not even sure what that's, little trowel, and then the shears. And I didn't stamp these. I cut them out with the Cajun craze to, again, give it a little pop of color. And so I didn't stamp them, I just cut them out and then used the silver for the ends. And then I ran these little the little hooks through twice, because I like to use 4 of them. And I did those in silver as well. And then I did do this in silver just because I wanted to show you how easy this layers on those. So I've already pre-done some of them just to kind of help this process go a little bit faster. But let's go ahead and start to assemble. So I'm just going to put a little bit of green glue on the back here. And then all we do is line it up and put it right there. There we go. And again, you don't have to use this, but one thing that I really like about Stampin' Up! Is it does use all of these additional fun elements. Like, it just adds that little pop of color and just that little something extra to have kind of that metal on the end. So I really like it. So then we're going to take this and we're going to adhere the hooks on them. And I always start with the end hooks and then do the middles. And I am going to use my tweezers here, my reverse tweezers, to help. And I just put just a tiny, tiny dab of glue on the back. And then there we go. Okay, got one down. Let me do this one. Like I said, if you put too much on, I just kind of run the tip over it to kind of just get a thin layer. I'm just going to try to put this at about the same distance from the end as the other. That's kind of why I like to do the ends first. And that's a little crooked, so let me see if I can't straighten it out. May not. Oh well, that's okay. Now let me get this one. And it doesn't take a lot of glue, just a little bit. This stuff is pretty powerful, so Just kind of hold it on there for a second for it to set, and then it'll be good to go. And my last one. So even though this has a lot of pieces, they go together pretty easy. Okay. And you can adhere this in different ways. Like I could put dimensionals on the back, but I am just going to adhere this with glue. Just because for the sake of the video, it's easier when you can use dimensionals, but you kind of have to cut them in half. And so sometimes that just takes a little bit longer. So we are just going to use glue, and this will have quite a bit of dimension anyway, so I think we're okay without that. And I might have put it a little bit too far up. That's okay. These can kind of poke off the top a little bit. Well, I wonder if I could get it down a little bit. There we go. All right. So I did move it down just a hair. It's a nice thing about the green glue. Okay. So now the fun thing that I like to do with these hooks is I like to actually maneuver them, because then you can actually really kind of hang the stuff on them. So like if we do it right here, I can actually set this on the hooks, and then it really does look like it's hanging. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back of this now. And actually, I'm going to put this one on here. I'm going to put on the second one. I like to be symmetrical, and maybe that is a flaw of mine. But the broom is actually a little longer, so I like to go from longest to shortest. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing with the broom here. Again, this one doesn't sit quite as nicely on there, but it still will. You can still see it there. All right. And I'm going to move these up just a little bit. And then we're going to put this one on. There we go. And so see, I love the little elements of the hook. I mean, honestly, for these things, it is these little tiny details that are just amazing, and they just add so much. So then this one, I'm just going to put on there. Yeah, we'll do it this way. And again, just a little glue on it. And there we go. And again, you know, the thing is with this is, okay, it's all kind of the same type of design with the tools hanging, but you can really do it any way that you want. You know, sometimes you can use 3, you can use 1, you can not hang them, you can just have the empty hooks up there. You know, it really is kind of whatever you want. And that's what makes it so fun. because again, it's fairly easy to use, but it does give you a little bit of variety. Okay, so I am, oops, going to use a dimensional for this, and I am going to cut one of these in half because it doesn't quite fit there. But if you just take a mini dimensional and cut it in half, and I have a pair of scissors that I use just for this, so I don't use like my good paper snips because I don't want those to get gummy. So I just have a pair of scissors that I use, and I will clean them every once in a while, but I try to keep my paper snips really nice. All right. And the last thing we're going to do on the front is we're going to put Dad on there. And I wouldn't have to, but I'm going to. And so this strip, I just cut it at 5/8 of an inch. And I'm just going to trim the edge. I could use my paper trimmer, but I'm just going to eyeball it. It's a small piece of paper, so and it's the same color as the background, so if it doesn't match exactly, it's not too big of a deal. And I am going to grab a regular glue dot and put it right on there, or not glue dot, dimensional. What am I saying? This is a dimensional. I like to give things some dimension. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to get rid of this little dimensional. And let's see. Let's glue this onto the designer series paper. And then we can do the stamping on the inside and on the envelope. Okay. So there we go. So how cute is that? All of those little elements just make it a really, really fun masculine card that is perfect for any man in your life. And that is really what I struggle with is, you know, finding those cards, those masculine cards. And even I notice when I give cards as gifts, I try to go through and it's like, oh, you know, they, you know, have sons or, you know, their husband. How do I don't have a lot of masculine cards that I can even give them because I just don't make a lot. So I was really excited. And I know Stampin' Up! Has had different stamp sets in the past. I don't know why these two just really drew me in. Maybe just because I really liked the tools and was just able to see that little design of the tools hanging and the elements with the hooks and just was enamored with it. I just really loved that look. That is just such a really nice, cute card. So now we're going to go ahead and stamp the inside. And for that, let's see, I'm going to use Early Espresso because that is what the background is. And I'm just going to stamp the little gloves on the one side and this little whatever tool that is. Isn't that horrible? I'm not even sure what kind of tool it is. And then, let's see. I'm actually not going to put... Now, you know what? We are going to use the He's All That Happy Father's Day. So we are going to use that one. So this is wishing you a happy Father's Day. So if I don't have anybody to give it to, I can try to sell it. But That is just such a cute card. Oh, and I need to stamp, I forgot. Let me stamp the envelope here as well. And again, I'm just going to use the little gloves. And then this little piece I just put right next to it. It's kind of what I've done with all of them so far. And I can put that away. I am going to adhere. I've got some designer series paper for the flap to really kind of finish off the card. I really like to try to add a little bit something extra to the envelopes as well as the inside of the card. There we go. And for the cards that I use, I just cut, the strip is like 2 inches and it's like the perfect size. So, and then I usually cut it 6 inches and then it gives me just a little bit extra. Oops, let me keep my glue out so I can glue this to the inside. And then we have a wonderful Father's Day card, but again, you could easily make a birthday card or even a thank you. But again, just some really nice sets for Father's Day or to make those masculine birthday cards. Okay, let me grab my scissors and trim this off. And then we can add some of those rustic metallic dots to finish off the card. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to use some little ones. Let's put it there. I'm trying to think where I want the last one. I think I am going to put it over there. I always like to do odd numbers, and I tend to just use 3. So there we go. So, fun, easy, masculine cards using the Home and Garden and He's the Man suites. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the videos and enjoyed seeing all the cards that you can make with this suite. You can use a lot of different varieties and it just makes really fun cards. So please hit the subscribe button and look at getting your Father's Day cards going. Again, these are perfect stamp sets for it, or I definitely have cards for sale on my Etsy account if you don't want to buy them yourself to make them. So all of my information is below. It has my direct link to my blog, which has all of my information. And so I hope you really enjoyed this video. Hit the like button and I will be back later. Bye.